All right, spring is here. That usually means a boost for housing. But take a look at these February figures. Housing starts down 22.5% off January. New home sales down nearly 17%. And existing home sales down more than 9.5%. But today we got a surprising rise in pending home sales, up more than 2% after economists had expected a decline of 1%. This could be an indicator of what existing home sales may be in the months ahead. But you add it all up, and what are we looking at? Here with his take is Greg Graham, the CEO of real estate website OwnAmerica. Greg, great to see you on set today.
Same here, thanks.
First, I want to ask you about your opinion on government involvement in the housing crisis. Because you know this week there's a big meeting in Washington, the attorneys general calling the big lenders up to ask them to do principal restructuring for more borrowers. But then you also have this chorus of people saying government should get out of Fannie and Freddie. I mean, where do we stand? What's the answer?
Well, unfortunately, every time they try to do good, they've done harm. There's been unintended consequences. For example, even last year, and I was excited about the home buyer tax credit last year, right? Give an incentive for folks to take the plunge when they were fearful of it. But what happened was when the market may have been trying to recover, we got a roller coaster ride instead. So what we had was a rush of home sales in the first half of the year. We had a total glut of no home sales in the second half of the year. And now we can't quite figure out where we are. So this is a market that, based on pure supply and demand, okay? It's housing. People want to live indoors. They like that. And they like living in America. And so for those reasons, demand is insatiable. And if they stay out of the way, it will heal if they let it alone.
You know, I flew in and out of Atlanta last week. And when you're coming into Hartsfield Airport, there's so many neighborhoods where the streets are paved. And it looks like builders should be building homes, but they're not. They're just empty. So Atlanta obviously is one of those cities and one of those markets that is in trouble right now. Is this truly a situation where real estate is local and there are a handful of markets out there that are so bad it's dragging all of these numbers nationally down?
That's true, yeah. Real estate, think of it as a national marketplace, okay? There are places like Atlanta, South Florida, Las Vegas, Southern California, Arizona that are the most acute, where the pain is, where the most foreclosure crisis is. They were the same places, if you recall, 5 years ago that were seeing 15, 20% year-over-year appreciation. So the party was too hard. The hangover is too hard now. And they are dragging the numbers down. But what's interesting is happening in all those places is that investor dollars are converging on them. Half the sales going on in Vegas, Southern California, South Florida are all cash investors. So they're jumping in because they see the crisis.
Okay, so all those investors you're talking about, if you're saying, if I'm reading you correctly, that we should just let the housing market clear out, let these foreclosures happen and let those dollars come in, are there enough of those dollars to buy up all of these foreclosed, depressed price properties and get this housing market on level ground again? What kind of time frame are we looking at?
A couple of years, okay? We talk about a double dip. I think a double dip is actually wrong because there's been no upturn yet. It's still the same dip, one big dip over the last couple of years. The investor dollars, like we see people, companies, private equity, who are typically trying to find a company in distress. They're viewing these as great American cities that are in distress, and they're pouring tons of money in. Individual investors buying one or two properties, also same thing. They see that home ownership coming down, rental household creation going way up. It's a good time to be a landlord. And the best thing is that they're not buying and flipping. We had a lot of investors last time around that were speculating, causing pain in the market. These are buy and hold plays for the most part, at least 5 years. And so I think there is enough money. There's a lot of money on the sidelines, and nobody's missing this housing crisis, right? There's no chance that you don't know what's going on, and so they know the opportunity on the flip side is to buy at the low.
All right, Greg, appreciate the update. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Greg Rand.